All right. So, we're going to talk all about sleep and tips for getting a restful night's sleep. Sleep is super crucial to your weight loss journey and your overall wellness. Oftentimes, it gets pushed to the side because we're so busy all the time. But prioritizing your sleep is going to be a game changer for you. And I'm going to give you some tips on how you can work on getting a better night's sleep if you struggle with this. This is something I've been working on a lot for myself over the past like 2 years because I've struggled with sleeping and wanting to be up all night and then just being on a ridiculous schedule. I've finally kind of gotten myself on a good schedule. So let's start with the first tip: sticking to a sleep schedule. I literally have a schedule of what I do to wind down to go to sleep. And I try to wake up each day around the same time frame and go to sleep each day around the same time frame. Pushing myself to get on that kind of clock, it's made it so that it started to get the evening and I'm actually starting to feel tired. I used to be able to stay up like so late. It would be 10 o'clock and I'm not even thinking about sleeping. 11, 12, 1, 2, and then I'm like, oh, now I'm getting tired. That doesn't work if you have to get up in the morning. That doesn't work if you have kids. You can't just be functioning on 4 hours or less of sleep. It's not good, and it's not good for your body. So stick to a sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day. Try to do it even on the weekends. Once you get this routine down, it's awesome. I don't even need an alarm clock really anymore because I just wake up. And it's not because of my daughter. It's me just waking up. Creating a relaxing bedtime routine. This goes with the sleep schedule. I've set up a routine for myself that I go through every night, like I did to get my daughter to go to sleep. You probably have a bedtime routine that you do for your kids if you have kids. You want to do the same thing for yourself. How can you go from go, go, go all day long in your life to thinking that you're magically just going to conk out and go to sleep? You're not. Your brain's going to go, go, go. You need to mentally prepare yourself for the rest, starting to wind down, starting to have it getting a little bit darker in the room in the evening, less bright lights, you know, get yourself wind down and prepared to go to sleep and not just go, go, go and think that you can get right into bed and go to sleep. That's not going to happen. You're going to struggle. Mentally prepare yourself, and then your body expects that that's what you're going to do, that you're going to be going to sleep. You want to create a comfortable environment for wherever you're sleeping. You want your blankets to be comfy, not itchy. You don't want to be hot. You want a good temperature in there. If you need white noise to mask out any other sounds, if you need to be silent, I cannot do that at all. I cannot have that silence. My brain will just keep thinking. But a fan, white noise, something that can help you lull yourself to sleep. But you want a good environment. Get good bedding, and you don't want clutter. Our brains actually pick up on the clutter around, even if you're not really focusing on it. How do you feel when you like walk into a room that you've just finished cleaning? It feels amazing. You're like, oh, this is awesome. How do you feel when you walk into a room that's cluttered and you're like, oh, this is so frustrating? Your brain's doing that in the background. You're just not fully focused on it. Having a clutter-free and tidy room is going to help with your sleep as well. Just an extra tip. You want to try to avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine later in the day. These are stimulants. They get you going. The alcohol, even though some people say that helps them sleep, the sleep cycles that you're going through are not the greatest when you're drinking alcohol. I have to cut caffeine off super early. Otherwise, I will be wired and up all night. Find what works for you. And I've even found that certain vitamins I cannot take too late in the day because that'll keep me up. Find what works for you. But I would suggest cutting off caffeine by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock at the latest, if you want to be going to sleep at a reasonable time. And then you don't want to eat too much before you go to sleep. There is absolutely nothing wrong with eating in the evenings. There's no science that says eat at night, you're going to gain weight. You're going to gain weight if your calories are in a surplus. That's what's going to happen. But Eating too much late in the evening can affect your sleep. You can feel full, you can have indigestion, heartburn, and it's going to affect the quality of your sleep. So maybe having something a little bit lighter before you go to bed is going to be helpful, but not too much. And I'll talk a little bit more about some foods that are kind of proven to help with sleep in not the next slide, but the one after. So then another good tip, exercise regularly. Make sure you're moving your body, being active during the day, and try not to do exercise too late in the evening. I know some of us are trying to figure out when we can actually work out and squeezing it to wherever we can. But there are some people, they do an exercise too late and they're all jazzed up and they can't sleep. So just be mindful of what works well for you and what doesn't. Limit your screen time before you go to sleep. That's another thing. Like if you have the screen and you're looking at it, your brain is like getting stimulated. It's not preparing for rest. It's preparing for more stimulation and more stimulation and more stimulation. Put the phones away, turn the TV off, read a book. If you need something, I have to read every night before I go to sleep. That literally helps me go to sleep. It's part of my routine. But try to limit that screen time. They say that the screen like affects different production of like there's a bunch of science to it, but take the screens away. They're not helping you sleep. Don't have a TV in your bedroom. It'll be a distraction. I actually had heard a long time ago not to put a TV in your bedroom because you want to use your bed as a place that your brain knows is a place for rest, sex, and relaxation, not other stimulation. So it's good to focus on having your bed be the place where you're going to sleep and your brain can mentally prepare. When I go into bed, this is what's going to happen when I'm here. TVs and things are distractions. They'll keep you awake. If you need white noise, that's a different thing, but this is just tips. Take what you want from this. Don't take things you don't want. These are just tips. Obviously, managing your stress, because if your brain's going constantly and you're feeling stressed out, it's really hard to unwind and go to sleep. So there's a meditation, breathing you can do before you go to sleep, incorporating like a warm bath, something that's going to be calming for you in the evenings. Add it to your routine before you go to bed. If stress is going too much, talk with a therapist. Talk with a friend. You have to gauge your level and what help that you might need if you need some, or what things you can add into your life to help with that as well. And then you can also consider sleep aids if you're doing everything and you're really struggling. I had taken so many. I've taken like everything you can think of. And finally, I found that a combination of magnesium for myself, certain dosage, works perfectly for me in the evening and helps me get restful relaxation. Obviously, talk to your doctor. I'm not telling you to take magnesium, not medical advice, but it has helped me. Ask your doctor. You can see what works well for you. Now, when I talk about some of these foods in this next slide, you'll see why magnesium is very helpful. You can get that from food sources. It's in a lot of the foods that will help you with sleep. So these foods may help you with sleep because of some of the nutrients and things inside them. Cherries, specifically like the tart cherries, seems to be something that helps people with sleeping. It's a natural source of melatonin, which helps with your sleep cycles. Bananas, they contain magnesium and potassium. That magnesium really helps relaxation, can help reduce any muscle cramping, soreness, restless legs, like that kind of stuff that happens in the evening. Bananas are helpful for. They also contain tryptophan, which is an amino acid that helps with sleep-inducing neurotransmitters. So bananas seem to be a helpful thing for sleep. Nuts, another thing that has a lot of magnesium. Nuts and seeds and things like that have good sources of magnesium, Like I said, that helps with your body relax. Fatty fish, like salmon, they have omegas, and those have been associated to help with sleep quality. I take omegas in the evening and magnesium, and that's part of my nighttime medicine. It's calcium, magnesium, omegas, and there's one more. I just can't remember off the top of my head. That combo helps me sleep. If I add some other vitamins in, sometimes that keeps me awake. So play around with what works for you. Kiwis, you've got vitamin C and E. They have antioxidants. They've been shown to help people fall asleep faster and have a deeper sleep. Pretty cool. Turkey, it's always famous for everybody eating Thanksgiving, having the tryptophan that's making them sleep, but not really, because really it's just binging on a bunch of food and it's making you tired. But they do say that that can help with sleep, turkey. Different herbal teas have calming effects. Chamomile, the valerian root, lavender, all calming properties. You could try some of that in the evening. Different complex carbs, because of their makeups, they have different things that can help with regulating sleep. Dairy products, they contain that tryptophan in there. And different herbs and spices. Looks like it's nutmeg and basil have mild sedative properties. Pretty cool. I like basil. But yeah, these are just some examples of foods that can help with sleep. Why not incorporate them? They're all healthy. They're part of a balanced, diet. But sleep is super important. So these are some tips so that you can get some better sleep. Take what you want from this, apply it, and I hope you get some restful sleep. See you in the next video.